Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back. I am so happy to see you. Thank you for coming. This week, I've got some suggestions for you to get you through retrograde season. We are already on the heels of a full moon and lunar eclipse. But this was a very powerful lunation in and of itself. Add to it, first eclipse of 2021 in Sagittarius. We are on the heels of this very powerful lunation and eclipse, and we are already swirling around deep in the waters of eclipse season. If you haven't already, make sure you've subscribed to my channel, turn on your notifications so you get these videos every week or as frequently as they come out. Like this video, comment, share far and wide. Okay, so this week I have some ritual suggestions for you. And I'm also going to give you some mantra meditations to help you feel fortified throughout this time. It's going to be great. We're going to get through it together. So like I said, we are already in retrograde season. This is not just talking about Mercury retrograde. That goes retrograde for about 3 weeks, starting on the 30th of this month. Of course, we know that there's shadow before and shadow after. But Saturn is already retrograde as of the 23rd of May and will stay retrograde until I think the 18th of October. And then soon come on June 20th, Saturn goes retrograde and will also stay retrograde until the 10th or 11th of October. And then we have another Mercury retrograde happening in October also. So there is so much discussion on what's going to happen, what's not going to happen, what we're going to be forced into reckoning with as a result of Saturn retrograde and the upcoming Jupiter retrograde, and of course the ever-present, seemingly so, Mercury retrograde. And then with the lunar eclipse that we just experienced, there is so much that has the potential to be broken away, to be stopped, to be ended. I mean, first of all, the fact that Saturn is in retrograde, this is the first happening of retrograde season. Saturn is a planet that really concerns itself with karma, karmic endings, karmic retribution, or payoff, right? Among many other things, this is a main focus for Saturn and Saturn's retrograde. And so if there's anything within the scope of karmic lessons, karmic patterns that you have that are undone for you, those things could be unfolding as the retrograde goes on through October, and then in the shadow periods also. And then we look at Jupiter's retrograde, and the opposite of expansion. What is the opposite of being able to grow and expand through Jupiter as it moves retro? And then throw it once again, the mix of Mercury's retrograde and how we really make moves in terms of expression and the obvious communication through lessons, through the work put in through Saturn, how we make moves, how we communicate, the steps that we take for expansion for Jupiter. So there's so much information. Of course, there should be. We are in Gemini season, right? And in the seeking of information, being very curious and asking a lot of questions, really having a lot of social but important conversations, discourse, a lot of time in learning about what is what with what, right? Taking in all information to really be curious and light, like I'm saying, through Gemini season. And when we apply that to the astrological movements that we are in the middle of now, I've noticed that for a lot of people that I work with, a lot of people in my community, and even myself, it can be very overwhelming, right? Retrograde season is or can be intimidating. And so rather than come to tell you, yes, you can definitely manifest or spellcast during an eclipse, or or no, you should not manifest or spellcast during an eclipse. I'm not here to say yes or no about what you should not be doing during eclipses, but mostly during the retrograde season that we've only just begun. That can be really overwhelming for people to figure out how to navigate through that time. This is where attention and discipline, steady as they go, right? Attention and discipline come into play. If you are worried about fallouts from retrograde season, from the Saturn retrograde that we're already in, and the Jupiter retrograde that's coming, and Mercury's retrograde that is here any day now, then my advisement is to take daily or regular care. If there is huge concern about what's coming to an end, or what's going to fall away, or what's going to fall apart or get fucked up, pardon my language, during this retrograde season, then it is up to you as the very, very powerful individual and practitioner to once again apply attention and discipline to caring for yourself. And this is where we come in today. I have a few suggestions on how to help yourself feel grounded and protected during the retrograde season. Before I get into what I've done here very briefly and the few additional suggestions that I have, there's a note on what is ending with Saturn's retrograde. There's a note on what could really come into pause or halt with Saturn's retrograde. There's a note on Mercury's retrograde. Anything that our hands can touch, anything that we have the ability, varying degrees of ability, to ensure that we are taking our time, to ensure that we've done all the work possible for our personal growth, development, expansion, that we've done all the work possible for things to really unfold the way they need to. Anything else is like skimming the top layer of fat off of a broth, right? Anything else that falls away isn't needed. Really, really, really and truly. And if it was so dire and needed, this is especially within Mercury retrograde, this is especially a really good time to slow down and think about how you care for these things that are so vital and so important. If it is that important, then you've taken good care to set yourself up. If you find yourself that important, then you've taken good care to grow, develop, to learn, to study, to grow. And if not, this is a perfect opportunity, because these retrogrades will keep coming. This is a perfect opportunity to realize that for oneself. Okay, if shit falls away, if endings commence during this time, and they likely will, things that just can't get themselves off the ground, they are either not at all for you, or they weren't meant to be in some lighter sense, and something else will take its place likely after the solstice. Or they were maybe meant for you, but you were not prepared to receive it. And so once again, to sort of solidify my point, this is a perfect opportunity to observe these endings, to observe perceived missed opportunities, to see, okay, how can I really focus my attention and discipline to habit, healthy discipline as seen through the eye of self-love? How can you really focus that for yourself moving forward? And to the contrary, right? There are things that will be recognized to the end of having put work in for yourself, having really prepared and practiced and done a lot of the work that needed to be done for yourself, for your family, and for things in your life that you'd like to see off the ground. Those things will be recognized through these different retrogrades. Because just as anything that wasn't prepared for, wasn't really handled with care, will fall away, And that also goes for things that will fall away, that aren't just meant for your highest unfolding. Anything that you are really ready for, anything that you have really, again, done that low key behind the scenes work, those things will likely not fall away. Again, we are talking about karmic checks and balances here. Either way, all will be sorted out. So that said, if maneuvering through these retrogrades, especially again on the heels of what was a rather intense lunar eclipse, in Sagittarius, are you kidding me? If you are feeling overwhelmed and am I gonna be okay? Am I not gonna be okay? Should I try to work on important projects? Should I try to do spell casting and work through this time? If you're feeling overwhelmed by that, let's pause. Let's pause and let's consider ritual for ourselves. I have formed something here for you. As you can see, I am very rarely wearing white because black is my color of choice, so you don't see this very often. And also, I am a prolific spiller of coffee, and so it's just not safe for me to wear white. Usually, I am in black or some other sort of dark color because I like the way that it looks, and I also am very interested in absorbing as much as I can whenever I can. But with the overwhelm of retrograde season and with the overwhelm of just a full moon lunar eclipse, I know I keep going back to it, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm wearing white for this moment to really stop myself from absorbing anything at all. Anything. I'm really trying to preserve here. I don't even want to think about what's good or bad coming my way because, once again, this is a source of overwhelm, trying to sort through physically, mentally, psychically, what's good, what's bad, what's overwhelming. So here is white. Here is white for me and for you as a suggestion. No absorption, right? I have dressed this white candle ahead of time in a blend called Gentle Baby. This is a blend that was given to me by my favorite ant witch. Shout out to Jan Jan. If you cannot get your hands on Gentle Baby, of course, you can always try lavender, rose, or Roman chamomile. I go for Roman chamomile over regular because its smell is deeper and more potent and is more focused and concentrated on deep, deep relaxation. For your white candle, of course, remember, you're going to want to dress this candle from the top to the bottom in whatever oil you have available to you. You're going to start from the top and go towards you to the bottom, drawing towards you ease, peace, harmony, ease, peace, and harmony, ease, peace, and harmony. You are then going to take 2 black candles, one on either side, of course, of your white candle. I have dressed each of these black candles in pine. I petition the medicine of grandmother pine, stoic, solid, nurturing, and wildly protective. You guys have seen me use pine quite a bit in my practice. It's one that I believe in for grounding, protection, maternal, matriarchal wisdom, guidance, and protection. So we are surrounded on either side by the opposite, right? If we are with white, if we are repelling anything, if we are blocking absorption of anything that does not belong to us, right? Then you are buffering on either side of you with black, the absorption. So we have here several representations of absorption before it even gets to you. And this is the idea. You are to surround yourself in circles of love, care, wisdom, safety, and protection during this time. And this is a perfect representation of that idea. As you can see here, I've made a circle of protection using my own blend of black salt and other ingredients that I won't share. But I have here regular salt as a reminded suggestion. No matter what you choose to use, whether it's black salt or regular salt, definitely do not skip the step of creating a barrier of safety and protection around these ritual candles. Additionally, you can see here that I am working with black tourmaline, repelling and absorption, repelling and absorption, repelling and absorption. Not only is obsidian going to absorb all things, which could be nice in theory for our practice, but it is without a doubt at some point going to take you to the depths of shadow work and self-discovery, and this may not be a time for that to happen for you. I am pro shadow work, I am pro self-discovery, obviously, but right now our focus is on calm and peace and safety, and so we are repelling away from us. We are encasing ourselves in circles of safety, wisdom, guidance, and love throughout this time. The most important thing is focused attention when you dress these candles, but really using specific numbers of products. In this case, I'm suggesting numbered drops of oil for your candles, focusing on the number 5 drops of pine oil to dress this candle. 5 drops of gentle baby or lavender, rose, or Roman chamomile. 5 drops of each. 5 is a very specific and important number to use in protection magic. You can also work with 7. You can also work with 9. Don't go lower than 5. Try to keep it at 5 if at all possible. 5, 7, and 9. Innately, whatever feels best for you. A couple other suggestions when forming your meditative ritual. Not only can you work with varying oils, but there are herbs, there is plant medicine that will be a wonderful ally for you during this time, if responsibly and ethically sourced and harvested, of course. Above and beyond for protection magic, vervain is incredible. Vervain can be used in oil form, in loose herb form to dress your candles. It can be used in salt blends to create protective salts for your candle circle, for your windowsills like we've talked about before. If you don't have access to, or if you don't prefer vervain, mugwort, yarrow, and St. John's wort are also incredible plant allies to work with in protection magic, especially when it comes to building senses of safety around you in times of intensity. A couple alternatives even to mugwort or yarrow or St. John's wort. You could do chamomile, nettle, or fennel. Anything you can get your hands on within that list of kitchen witchery is going to really be an incredible ally for you in service of safety and protection during this time. Apply the numbers 5, 7, or 9 to your plant ally work too. 5 pinches of vervain or 5 leaves of vervain in your mortar and pestle. 5 leaves or 5 pinches of your herb combined with 5 drops of the oil of your choice. This could be a carrier oil, almond or jojoba are the ones that I like the best. You could really create a paste or an anointing oil for yourself if candle work isn't accessible or preferable for you. Another quick suggestion for your candle meditation ritual. If you feel that extra calming energy and extra boosts of confidence would be helpful for you, I highly encourage you to add a blue candle. Choose baby blue to lend a calming energy to your candle ritual. And if you feel that boosts of confidence and strength fortifying would aid your process, add an orange candle to your mix. I am choosing to keep things very simple here, black and white. I absorb nothing and I allow the work that I've done to take it all in for me. I call upon the allies of these tools to absorb anything that is not mine. black and white. You can add your colors if you feel it would be helpful for you. Once assembled and holding black tourmaline here, if you have two, you can hold one at the center of your chest and another one in your lap, close to your root. You could even go here and here, whatever feels best to you. You are going to recite the following. I am guided and protected while being separated from what binds me to smallness during this chapter of my unfolding. I am guided and protected while being separated from what binds me to smallness during this chapter of my unfolding. You say that as many times as you need to. I like to chant this until I can't chant it anymore. Words are spells. This is a spell. This is not just a chanting meditation, it is a spell. You could also try candle gazing. I am guided and protected while being separated from what binds me to smallness during this chapter of my unfolding. I highly suggest that you sit with your candles and declare these things aloud until they burn down. It's not that far. And finally, for protection, you close with this. I release any negative or harmful energy that comes from within me or is around me. I release any negative or harmful energy that comes from within me or surrounds me. I release any negative or harmful energy that comes from within me or surrounds me. I release any negative or harmful energy that comes from within me or surrounds me. I release any negative or harmful energy that comes from within me or surrounds me. I am guided and protected as I am separated from what binds me to smallness during this chapter of my unfolding. And so it is. Again, my suggestion is that you recite these mantras that I've given you until your candles burn down. If you've got longer taper candles or a 3 to 7 day fixed candles, recite these things aloud or to yourself as many times as your heart and soul desires for the moment of your ritual. And again, feel free to recite these aloud or to yourself as many times a day as you need, for as many days as you need during this particular moment in time in astrology. I hope that this serves you well. I hope that it serves well your communities. Again, if you have not subscribed to my channel, do so now. Turn on notifications so you get these videos every week. Like this video, share it far and wide with any and everyone that you think could benefit from this practice. Merry meet, merry part, merry may we meet again. Mwah.